Gracious Majesty the Queen has unfortunately caught COVID. But how serious is the situation today? Hi, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Just really wanted to take the time out to let you know exactly what I know about this latest breaking news regarding, of course, our gracious and wonderful Majesty the Queen. Now, as we all suspected for some time, as we know, the Queen has been a little bit ill of health. As we saw earlier this week, she complained that she couldn't really move when she was meeting certain dignitaries out at Windsor Castle, and that really did alarm some people. What I've been told is that she's been in a little bit under the weather over the last few days. Now, one could suspect, of course, it's the mega stress that she's recently been put under. As one can imagine, these particular situations do weigh heavy on the monarch. Not only her regal duties, but of course that of a mother too, must be incredibly difficult. Right now, though, what we know is simply this. Her Majesty the Queen is currently resting out at Windsor Castle, and for no great alarm, what I have been told is that she doesn't really want any fuss. Now, to allay any fears, and let me point this out, because as you know, with the mainstream media, they will do anything to grab a headline and, more importantly, push the story into more dramatic effect. She is up and about. She didn't attend church today, but has received, of course, her usual weekly audience. I'll leave it there, but we know what that means. And of course, for Her Majesty the Queen, more importantly, she doesn't really like to be, shall we say, bedridden. You know, she doesn't feel particularly ill, I've been told. She has very mild symptoms and's taking a lot of rest. Now, for Her Majesty the Queen to ensure she absolutely gets the best medical attention, that comes from Sir Hugh Thomas, her chief physician and head of the royal medical household. Obviously a super guy that knows every possible thing that could be dealt with. And she is in very good hands, I've been told. But more importantly, it's about the people who have been around Her Majesty the Queen over the last few days. As we know, Prince Charles is just coming out right now of self-isolation, as he too caught another mild case, his second time. And then, of course, the Duchess of Cornwall then also contracted COVID-19. Now, we're not quite sure exactly how close Camilla and Charles were to Her Majesty the Queen, but more importantly, there are reports now breaking that the former royal known as Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, has been making nightly visits to see his mother out at Windsor Castle, and of course to inform her of his decisions moving forward with that particular civil court case. So it's going to be very difficult now to work out exactly how possibly she could have contracted it. And let's not forget that she has been meeting people virtually and in person at Windsor Castle, and all with no masks. Now, as we also know, Her Majesty the Queen has had triple vaccine jabs, so consequently she's got the best protection that anyone can have. Now, the biggest concern, of course, of all is our gracious Majesty the Queen's age. She's in robust health, but as ever has to take it easy. And for someone like our gracious Majesty the Queen, who likes to push ahead and plough on no matter what, and apparently, according to a very good source, really just bats away things like colds, sniffles and that type of thing, believes that you should plough on if possible, this is going to be a very difficult time for those looking after her and around her at Windsor Castle, simply because, as ever, work comes first. As ever, when I know more about this breaking situation, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.